Alright guys, welcome back. We have our first ever unit review. It's going to be Celeste today. Let's jump right in and see what her kit can do. So today's objectives is going to be to break down her kit and see what her abilities are like. What are her stats like? What are some pros and cons? Which teams benefit from Celeste? So who would be good partners to use with Celeste? And is she worth building up compared to other tanks? That's a good question. We only have a few relevant tanks right now in the Chaos era, so is it worth the ingots to build her up? Let's find out. So Celeste is a tank against magical attacks. She does magic damage. She has pretty good auras for your team. Notably, there's no attack aura here. Her first ability is called Shine Edge. It's a 5-hit single target Brave plus HP attack. It is non-elemental and it does magic damage. It's 150% overflow, which is pretty standard. It gives herself HP regen and max Brave up for 6 turns, and the percentages are 10% and 20% respectively. They're a little bit on the low side, but Celeste still has a strong kit regardless. Brave Refund, you get 30% of HP damage dealt, so that's a lot. There's not many characters that give Brave Refund right now. Vaughn is a recent character that does that, but it helps a lot with longevity. Her Crystal 65 is set target lock all. You get a 4-turn duration on lock on all enemies. And you get a 10% max Brave aura for 5 turns. So it helps your team's output a little bit. Her second ability is called Runic. It's a party battery into a 1-hit single target Brave plus HP attack. The battery is based on 200% of her eye Brave, so she can bypass defenses this way. It's also non-elemental and it does magic damage. The overflow is lower here at 120%, but because she's doing 1 hit, you're probably not going to be reaching it anyway. You get a 20% attack up for 6 turns, generic buff, which is kind of low, but it makes it easier to pair Celeste with stronger support buffers. You get a Brave Magic Absorb unique frame buff for 6 turns, and what this does is any magic damage that she is taken, she will absorb that damage. So bosses will not be able to damage Celeste using magic attacks at all. And each stack will increase your max bravery up to a maximum of 5 stacks. Every time you get hit by magic or you use Runic, you get an additional stack. And she gets her unique aura here. It's a 60% magic damage resist for her allies, so she can lower their brave damage taken. You also get Brave Refund from 30% of HP damage dealt with this skill as well. And it changes her HP into HP plus while the framed buff is active. Her HP plus is a 1-hit single target Brave plus HP attack. You get Brave Refund, but it's only 10% of HP damage dealt this time. This also changes her Brave into Brave plus for 4 turns. It's a 1-hit single target ice melee attack, but realistically you'll never be using the Brave plus. It's a weak attack and doesn't do any battery or anything. She has good longevity. You can just keep doing HP plus with Celeste. Moving on to her EX ability, it's called Spinning Edge. This is assuming that you have 3 ingots invested into the weapon. Now I did go over why she wants 3 ingots in my other video in my December review, so you can check that out if you haven't already. Basically, it's a 2-hit single target Brave plus HP attack followed by her original 5-hit single target Brave plus HP attack. The attack is non-elemental, it does magic damage, and she gets 200% overflow now. It's a fast recast speed, which means you'll be using this every other ability if you want to go ham and just spam your abilities. You get a 40% attack up for 5 turns, which overrides her 20% attack up from the other skill, so now she is much more competitive in terms of attack stats. You get a unique buff, it's called Rune Knight for 5 turns. This buffs her magic attack by 20%. She gets Brave Regen by 100%, which is pretty potent. And she gets 15% HP regen. This stacks with her generic HP regen, which makes her a monster at healing HP. You also get a 20% max Brave aura here for the party. So it adds to her overall aura to be 40% for the entire party. Brave Refund, you get 30% HP damage dealt. Now you're going to be doing a lot of damage with this skill, because her attack is pretty high with the potencies, so you're going to get a lot of Brave Refund for longevity. Now let's look at the stats for Celeste here. This is her stats at level 70. The attack does look low on the surface, but you have to take into consideration that she has high ability potencies, and she has large Brave regen, which helps with longevity and output immensely. Because of this, attack plus 108 is the priority for artifacts. Max Brave can also scale really high once you have max runic stacks, and because of this I would prefer Max Brave 330 for the secondary artifact passive. You can go iBrave 170, that wouldn't be a bad choice, but because she has high Brave refund already and Brave regen, it's not really necessary in my opinion. Team Synergies. Now who would Celeste be working well with? Consider that she has a lack of party healing, she also has a lack of attack aura. Because of this, allies that provide Eiler would be greatly beneficial. Agrius covers both, for example. She has innate Brave regen on the high side, so allies that boost iBrave would be greatly helpful for her. Agrius again, Deuce and Liliset are good examples. So the tank comparison, is Celeste worth building compared to other tanks? So if we look at the current Chaos era, Warrior of Light, Bosch, and Celeste are the current capable tanks. For Warrior of Light, he gives shields to the party. Bosch, he absorbs AoE attacks. Celeste, she absorbs magic attacks. In terms of their survivability, I would rank Celeste as really high. She has less stan compared to other tanks. She has really high self-healing, and her damage output is super high compared to the other tanks. Even though she has no attack aura, she has really high potencies, and Brave Refund on top of the fast EX recast means her damage output is going to be top for a tank. Her taunt duration is kind of moderate compared to Warrior of Light, for example, but she gets some AoE utility there. Now let's move on to the current banner. We have Celeste Lock EX as well as Setzer. Now Celeste EX does not return for quite some time. If you're going to pull on Celeste, I would actually recommend doing so on this banner. Lock is a decent physical unit. He can help you farm, so should you pull on this banner, my answer is going to be yes, because Celeste doesn't come back for quite a while and she's a very powerful unit. So just to summarize for Celeste here, some pros and cons. She has high damage output with a fast EX recast speed. This means you'll be using her ability every other turn. She has high Brave regen and Brave refund that helps with longevity. She has prominent survivability due to large HP regen and less stan. Now some cons for Celeste. She only heals herself and she lacks party healing, so you're going to have to make this up with the team members. She has no attack aura, again you're going to have to make this up with other members. And the AoE taunt is limited. This is only available via her Crystal 65 passive. And that's going to be it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if it was helpful, if you enjoyed these types of videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.